Topham Hatt's railway normally runs smoothly, but that doesn't mean his engines won't make mistakes once in a while. Thomas the Tank Engine is no exception. While most of the engines have their share of mishaps and slip-ups, he has made more mistakes than anyone on the island. One day, Thomas was to deliver some cubs from Brendam Docks and take them to the animal park on Edward's branch line. He had been delivering animals there for a few weeks now, alongside his passenger runs on his branch line, and was quite happy Sir Topham Hatt had given him such a great opportunity. But today, he was late arriving at the docks. The dock manager was there waiting for him.
Sorry I'm late. One of the signals at the junction was broken, and we had to wait until it could be fixed.
That's right, Thomas. As long as you're here now. Now these cubs must get to the animal park before 5 o'clock. You have another shipment of baby animals tomorrow and for the rest of the month.
Yes, sir. I'll be quick and careful at the same time.
As the dock manager left, Emily pulled up next to Thomas to collect some flat cars to take to Knapford shunting yards.
Quick and careful. Yeah, right.
I'll say. You nearly caused an accident a couple days ago, Thomas. How does Sir Topham Hatt trust you with your own branch line when you can barely post specials without messing them up?
A couple of days ago, Thomas had played a trick on Cranky by whistling loudly at him when he wasn't looking. The poor crane had been so startled that he dropped a crate of strawberries on the line, which Edward had nearly run into. Thomas remembered that incident, but he didn't like to be reminded of it.
None of you are perfect either. Why, I remember a certain crane who dropped a load of pipes on the line and trapped Bill, Ben, and Salty here for the night. And there was also this engine who forgot the brake coach at the end of the express, shunted flower cars into a muddy marsh, and got stuck in a flood.
Well, those are just little things, little Thomas. Might happen to anyone.
Besides, you've made more mistakes than any of us. Like the time you got tired and took some sheep to the market, children to the farm, and chickens to school.
This made Thomas very cross. So much so that he sped off before they could couple up a brake van. Emily and Cranky watched in shock as the little blue engine raced out of the docks.
Thomas, can you please slow down? I know we're late and all, but we don't need to put ourselves at risk of another accident.
But Thomas wouldn't slow down. He was too busy thinking about what he would say to Emily and Cranky later. He was so caught up in his thoughts that he didn't see Douglas on the line ahead with a mixed goods train. Luckily, a quick-thinking signalman diverted Thomas onto another line.
You clumsy great tank engine!
Thomas saw the animal park teeter into view. He tried to put on his brakes, but he couldn't. He was going so fast that he sped right past the park platform. The lion cubs in his vans were shaking and huddling up next to each other. Thomas was too scared to even see what happened next. He went on for a couple of miles until he crashed into the buffers of the scrapyard siding. The driver and fireman had jumped clear, and the hay in the cars had cushioned the lion cubs. They weren't hurt, but they were shaken and scared. Edward arrived to take Thomas to the works. Sir Topham Hatt was on board, and needless to say, he was not happy.
Thomas, the tank engine! Why were you going so fast? And where is your brake fan?
Thomas was about to explain when his driver and fireman walked towards him.
You two should have controlled Thomas better. As a punishment, Thomas is to shut in the yards until I can trust the three of you again.
But sir, we tried our best.
No excuses. We have regulations on my railway for a reason, and you are to adhere to them at all times. Are we clear?
Edward could see a small tear in Thomas's eye. Don't worry, Thomas. If you ever need to talk or blow some steam, you can come to Wellsworth any time you like. Thomas just sighed as Emily came to take the unhurt cubs to the animal park. She watched with sympathy as Edward pulled Thomas away. Once they arrived at Croven's gate, Thomas's driver clambered down from Edward's cab. He didn't have kind words for him either.
Shame on you, Thomas. What part of slow down did you not understand? Now, if it were up to me, I would just keep you in the shed. But you're lucky Sir Tom has let you out at all.
He then climbed back into Edward's cab, and the wise old engine left. A few days later, Thomas's brakes were fixed, and his buffer beam was repaired, and he was ready to get back to work. But instead of returning to his branch line, he went to the big station to do some shunting as his punishment. He wasn't even allowed to deliver any more animals to the park for the time being. That job had been given to various engines on Edward's line. The bigger engines laughed at him whenever they saw him. This made him cross, but it gave him a lot to think about. I'm sure Thomas will gain back Sir Topham Hatt's trust soon, but that's another story.